In this video, we discuss about the travel cost method. The travel cost method is used for calculating economic value of environmental good. Unlike the contingent valuation method, travel cost method can only estimate the use value of an environmental good or service. Here, we estimate the use value of an environmental good or service. It is mainly applied for determining economic values of site that are used for recreation, such as national parks. This method is used to determine the economic value of site. It is used for recreation, such as site means national parks. For example, travel cost method can estimate part of economic benefits of coral reefs, beaches or wetlands stemming from their use for recreational activity. It can also serve for evaluating how an increased entrance fee and nature park would affect the number of visitors and total park revenue from the fee. However, it cannot estimate benefits of providing habitat for endemic species. The travel cost method is used to estimate the benefits of these environmental goods. It helps to evaluate how an increased entrance fee for a natural park would affect the number of visitors. The travel cost method is based on the assumption that travel costs represent the price of access to a recreational site. It means the price of or travel cost represent the price of access to a recreational site. People's willingness to pay for visiting a site is thus estimated based on the number of trips that they make at different travel cost. His willingness to pay for visiting a site. He is ready to or he is willing to pay for visiting a site is based on the number of trips they make at different travel costs. This is called the revealed preference technique, the application of revealed preference technique, because it reveals willingness to pay based on consumption behavior of visitors. The information is collected by conducting a survey. How to measure the willingness to pay for visiting a site for the traveler is collected by conducting a survey among the visitors of a site being valued. The survey should include questions on the number of visits made to the site over some period. The survey includes a number of questions based on the recreational site and how many times they visit that particular place in the last 12 months. Distance traveled from the visitor's home to the site, mode of travel, time spent traveling to the site, respondent's income, and other socio-economic characteristics. The researcher uses the information on distance and mode of travel to calculate the travel cost. For the calculation of travel cost, the visitor's time spent or visitors income and visitors mode of travel and to what distance they travel from visitors home to site and his socio-economic characteristics, everything should consider. Alternatively, visitors can be asked directly in a survey to state their travel cost, although this information tends to be somewhat less reliable. Time spent traveling is considered as part of travel cost. Time spent traveling is considered as a part of travel cost because this time has an opportunity cost. Time has an opportunity cost. He sacrificed some other things to for this particular travel. He sacrificed some other things. That means the time has an opportunity cost. It could have been used for doing other activities. Otherwise, he is doing some kind of work, or he spent time for time with his family, or he spent time with his friends, or he enjoy his hobbies in this weekend days. And that is the time or it is the opportunity cost. The value of time is determined based on the income of each respondent. Time spent at the site is, for the same reason, also considered as part of travel cost. For example, if respondents visit 3 different sites in 10 days and spent only 1 day at the site being valued. If respondent visit 3 different sites in 10 days and spent only 1 day at the site being valued, then only fraction of their travel cost should be assigned to this site. Example 1 by 10. Depending on the fraction used, the final benefit estimate can differ considerably. There are 2 approaches for this measurement. One is the individual zone approach and second one is a zonal approach. Individual travel cost method calculates the travel cost separately for each individual and requires a more detailed survey of visitors. In zonal travel cost method, the area surrounding the site is divided into different zones, which can be either concentric circles or administrative districts. There are 2 approaches to measure travel cost method. One is the individual travel cost method and the second one is a zonal travel cost method. Individual travel cost method calculate each individual travel cost. In zonal travel cost method, the area surrounding the site is divided into zones. It can be either as a concentric circles or administrative districts. In this case, the number of visits from each zone is counted. This information is sometimes available from the site management, which makes data collection from the visitors simpler and less expensive. The second approach is a zonal travel cost method approach is very simple and it is less expensive compared to individual travel cost method. The relationship between travel cost and number of trips shows as the demand function for an average visitor to the site. The demand function represented 2 things, as one is the travel cost and the number of trips, for which one can derive the average visitor's willingness to pay. This average value is then multiplied by the total relevant population in order to estimate the total income value of a recreational resource. Average value multiplied by total relevant population to find out the total economic value of recreational resource. The travel cost method is based on the behavior of people who actually use an environmental good or therefore cannot measure non-use values. This method is thus inappropriate for sites with unique characteristics which have a large non-use economic value component, because many people would be willing to pay for its preservation just to know that it exists, although they do not plan to visit the site in the future. The travel cost method might also be combined with contingent valuation to estimate an economic value of a change, either enhancement or deterioration in environmental quality, by asking the same tourist how many trips they would make in the case of a certain quality change. By asking the same tourist how many trips they would make in case of certain quality change. This information could help in estimating the effects that a particular policy causing an environmental quality change would have on the number of visitors. The travel cost method is helped to reach the conclusion that a particular policy in particular area causing environmental quality change, it would affect the number of visitors in a good way or in bad way. To what extent it will affect to the visitors.